Hello, and welcome to Impact, the Skilled Workforce of Manatee County, a collaboration between Manatee Technical College Foundation and Manatee Educational Television, focusing on addressing the issue of creating and maintaining a skilled labor force to benefit Manatee County. Joining us today for this program are Doug Wagner of Manatee County School District and John Zimnicki of World Design, Inc., and chair of MTC Foundation. Together, they will continue to set the stage for assessing the economic impact of a skilled workforce on Manatee County and discuss the current situation from several points of view, as well as describe some of the successes already achieved and challenges still to be met. Let's get started. Doug, would you like to tell us a little bit about your position with the school district and a little bit about what your organization does?
Sure, Virginia, sure. So I work with the school district of Manatee County, and we have a department called Adult Career and Technical Education. And since we're talking about the workforce, I'll just leave it with the programs that do impact the workforce the most, which are, we have elementary, middle school, high school, and post-secondary programs here in Manatee County. And I can start, let's start at the beginning at the elementary level. So in Manatee County, we're fortunate that we have elementary engineering programs. We're one of very few school systems in the state that actually have a elementary engineering program. So 13 of our elementary schools currently have it, and our plan is to have it at all of our elementary schools starting next year. And so students from as early as kindergarten go through, and they take an elective type program where it may be like PE, art, music, and then engineering is also part of that wheel that all students on the program rotate through and learn engineering type activities. So that's exciting that we have that here in Manatee County, and we have certified teachers who teach in that all day long. And then at middle school, we actually have programs at all different types of the career pathways. And same with high school. We can go into more detail as we go forward.
Terrific. John, tell us a little bit about your many activities with MTC.
Well, first of all, I wear three hats in this community, Virginia, as you well know. I have my own architectural engineering business. I'm also chairman of the Board of Governors at Manatee Technical College, and I'm chairman of the MTC Foundation. So I kind of see what we do, how everything matriculates together from both workforce and from being the chair of the board and the chair of the foundation. So it's kind of fun to change my hat every once in a while, because sometimes when I get overwhelmed with work, I can think about all the positive things that we've done through MTC and through the foundation, and it kind of brings me down a little bit back to being a little bit more level and concentrating on the things that we need to do. And but the most fun part I like of the three hats I wear is when Doug and I were there for the graduations, and we see all those students there, from 18-year-olds, high school people, up to grandmothers that are in their 80s, to see, you know, the happy faces as they walk across the stage, and we give them that certificate. So that's the most fun that I have, and in doing this for 37 years, which I've been affiliated with MTC for 37 years.
And Doug, John just brought up something that there are people who are graduating from Manatee Technical College who are in their 80s, and you're talking about starting with technical education when kids are 6 years old. Absolutely,
and we think it's important for students at a young age to understand that there's lots of different careers out there. And really it's unlimited what they can do. And it seems like if you don't start having those conversations early, at a very young age, even kindergarten is not too early for them to think about what do you want to be when you grow up. It gives them a chance to explore lots of different ideas as they move forward in their careers and through their education process. So as early as kindergarten, like we had talked about before, they do start with the 13 schools, soon to be all the schools, having some type of career exploration, hands-on learning. You're applying math and science to solve real-world skills, and there's all different types of careers that are explored all the way through elementary school. And then when they get into middle school, it's the same. They can actually branch off and choose more specific. They might be interested in business, and they could stay in the middle school and be in business for the full 3 years if that's what they chose to do. They may want to go into agriculture or engineering. And so there's lots of different opportunities here in Manatee County that make it for students to have a great experience.
And how does what's happening in Manatee County fit into what's happening in the region and in the state? Does the entire state have this same outlook? You're involved in a much larger capacity with the state, and I'd like to find out where we stand.
Yeah, so that's a good question. So how do we compare? So we really have a strong career focus here in Manatee County. We believe that all students should leave high school prepared for post-secondary, whether that be prepared for careers or for college, or both. And so we will work hard to ensure that every student has some type of exploratory or career preparation at the K through 12 level. We have over 100 teachers. So you're asking about how do we compare statewide. So we have over 100 career and technical education teachers here in Manatee County just at the K through 12 level. And then you can add in Manatee Technical College, which is another 300 teachers. And plus we have a lot of part-time teachers as well. So how does Manatee County stack up? We have great educational opportunities for our students here for career and technical education.
John?
I want to interject something when Doug was talking about going into the middle schools and kindergarten. I have a grandson that's 5 years old, and he loves fire trucks. And he told me that he wants to be a fireman because he likes to help people. And so he looked at me and he says, "Poppy, where can I learn this?" And I said, "Well, I just happen to know an institution here in Manatee County," which I told him I was part of MTC, that we have a fire science. And he says, "Well, where can I sign up?" So, I mean, it's just funny what Doug is talking about, because here's a 5-year-old, he's 6 in July, that he's already thinking that, you know, he loves fire trucks, he wants to help people. And I told him that's a commendable, you know, job opportunity, and commendable for him to want to be a provider for services like that. And so, I mean, it just, what Doug has done with the middle schools and getting them to move up from the elementary to middle and into the high schools, to get them a little bit more situated as to where they may fit in, because not all of them are college material. And that's what MTC has done so well, is because we know that we can take those students and they could sign up for a program that could be 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, but they have a certificate and they have work skills that they've learned. And if later on in their life they figure that, well, I'd like to go to a 4-year institution, then we matriculate with a lot of the, or articulate, I'm sorry, with a lot of the universities around here, to where they can use those credits toward a 4-year degree. So we've got the perfect stepping stones that Doug is talking about, going from elementary to middle to high school to MTC, and then to either State College of Florida or USF or any other university here in the state of Florida. So it just works perfect. Mm-hmm. And Doug's been instrumental in doing that.
So to add on what John's talking about, though, so for the fire program, so we've now combined fire and EMT. So it's a 7.5-month program. Students can come through our Manatee Technical College program and be prepared to work in that public service sector. What a lot of people don't understand is there's 67 school systems in the state of Florida, okay, 67. Of that 67, 29, only 29 have a technical college like we have. So sometimes people take Manatee Technical College for granted and think that it's everywhere. All across the state, everybody has access to a program like we have for post-secondary, but that's not the case. So there's very few technical colleges. In fact, the majority of the state doesn't have a technical college in its own school district. So we're very fortunate to have it, and we're very fortunate to have new facilities as well. So we have some of the best facilities for post-secondary technical training that you'll find anywhere in the state of Florida, if not the nation. And we get a lot of people who come here from other parts of the state and around the country to see what we have as far as facility goes for our campuses.
And looking at, well, not only the new facilities, but the funding of all of these initiatives, which it does take funding with the training of the teachers, with bringing in specialized equipment or supplies or whatever materials. How is this funded? Does the state fund this? Does this come out of the school district? Is it tax-based?
That's a good question. So since we're a public-run technical college, our tuition is set by the governor. So, and we have not had a tuition increase in years for post-secondary technical education. So our students pay $2.92 a clock hour. So unlike maybe traditional universities where they have credit hours, everything is a clock hour and everything's broken out, like John had talked about, by a set number of time. But students would pay $2.92 for every hour that the program is in length. And then in the backside of that, the Florida Department of Education allocates funding for the technical colleges across the state to supplement what the students pay. So the students pay really just a small amount of money, and our average is $5,000 for a year. That's what it costs for tuition, supplies, and it varies on the length of the program. But if you have a $1,200 program, it's about $5,000. And so that's all that the students would be expected to pay, and financial aid is available. The majority of our students do qualify for financial aid, federal financial aid, which they don't pay back through the Pell Grant. And we also have donors here in the community that help students as well if they don't qualify for the Pell Grant. If you come from you have a college, a four-year college degree, you don't qualify for the Pell Grant any longer.
And John, that leads right into the foundation.
Right. Foundation is kind of unique in what we do. We have given over $93,000 or $95,000 to students in the area over the past probably 7 years. I can't remember the number of students that was, but we are out there to give financial assistance to people in the community, and it makes no difference from what walk of life they come through or what their financial abilities are. A lot of them can't get the Pell Grant, and so we kind of act as a stopgap between the Pell Grant and other entities or other monies they may get. And so that's where the fund comes in for us. The guidance counselors come to us with students that saying that they don't make enough or they don't qualify for the Pell Grant, and can we help? And then so the foundation the board will go over the students and try to help as many as possible, but we can only do so much with the limited funds that we have. And that's where we're out there right now trying to increase our donations to our foundation so we can help more students.
And you mentioned the state, Doug, that they also kick in some money. Is it a set amount? Is it allocated on a percentage basis? How does that work?
Yeah, so it's kind of a tricky formula, but the bottom line is we receive about $9.4 million from the state of Florida. So for an institution our size, that's a fairly large amount of money. We're the largest technical college in the entire state of Florida based on the number of programs we offer. Nobody offers over 50 technical programs. That would be a lot. The average technical center's probably in the 30 program range, and we believe that our students need to have the opportunities to earn the skills so that they can qualify for the local workforce. And we have a very diverse workforce here in Manatee County. So we have over a 96% placement rate at MTC, our students, and it could be 100% if everyone who graduated wanted to go into the workplace. And we have a lot who come back maybe for enrichment type programs where they're just learning a skill so they can do something on their own, not in the real workforce. But yeah, so to answer your question, because of the state funding, that does help offset the cost that the students have to pay.
One of the things I do like about Manatee Technical College is that we're not scared of a program out there that nobody's offered. So under Dr. Cantrell, she would come up and say, well, we need to have this program for maybe 5 students because this workforce is required for one specific entity. Dr. Cantrell would come to Doug and we'd say, this is what we want to do. We'd do it. We'd train those 5 people, and all of a sudden, a few more would show up, and a few more. And so that original program we started for 5 might now be for 50. And so that's the one thing I like about MTC is that there's that growth for a different program if there's a need out there. And we've never said, well, we're not going to do it. We will try to hit the needs of all the people that come into Manatee County to make sure that they have a workforce that can help them and help the community.
And that's a good point, and I don't want to lose sight also of the high schools. So our high schools here in Manatee County do an excellent job preparing for the workplace as well. You had talked about how do we compare statewide. So we have industry certifications, which have really been strong here in Manatee County for many, many years, decades. If you have a program, we know that it's not the diploma, not the certificate, not the piece of paper that you get when you finish, it's the industry certification that helps you land the job. So our high schools do an excellent job of having students graduate high school industry certified. This past year that just finished, we had over 2,200 industry certifications. 2,200, and that's just at the high school level. 2,200.
What are some of these programs that they're certified in?
So that's a good question, right. So an industry certification has to take at least 150 hours of instruction to complete, and it has to be a nationally recognized industry certification. So we couldn't just create one here in Manatee County that we make ourselves and then students are awarded it. No, it has to be a national, something like SolidWorks. SolidWorks is an engineering design software. John might use something like that in his architectural firm. And students will learn SolidWorks, which is a nationally recognized program, and then sit for the national exam in SolidWorks. And our students are passing it. And it's really not intended for student use. These are actually end user people who are ready to go out into the field after they've learned, they've mastered a program. They sit for the national certification exam, and they are credentialed just like anybody who would be 21 years of age and older. So it shows that they have a mastery of the specific area, and it could be, and there's lots of them. There's lots of them from all the Adobe products, all the Microsoft Office products, lots of the engineering areas, lots of the child development areas, healthcare areas. So any area that the student is in, we really work hard to ensure that they're not only learning the content, but they're actually being prepared for the national certification exam.
And how many high schools actually have a technical component, or is that in all high schools?
All. So all of our 6 major high schools have technical education. They have a career and technical education department. Some of the programs actually have multiple teachers in it. You may have a program that has, for instance, Braden River High School, for instance, has 3 agriculture teachers, and that's one of their focus. They have 3 engineering teachers. That's another focus. Palmetto High School may have 2 healthcare teachers, and that's their focus as well. So every school has a different focus, and then they build up their faculty base.
And what's great is that they're feeders to MTC. Here again, some of them may go on to a major university, some can come to MTC and then garner a little bit more experience from our instructors. And there are advanced certificates that can be awarded also. And then at that point in time, they can either enter the workforce or they can pursue the 4-year degree and move on. So that's what's great. We have this circle the circle of life, we'll call it, just for not coming up with a better word, that we can go from all our different schools that feed, and then we can feed out into the community and feed out into the other universities and institutions, in and around the state and country. Because a lot of these certifications are national, and that means that they can go work anywhere. Just like our collision people or automotive, they get the ASCE certification, that they can work anywhere in the United States, which is why it's so important that we have these certificates for these students, because now they can say, well, they'll say, you came from where? A small technical center in Manatee County, and you have this expertise, which just makes us shine. And that's what I like about it. It makes the community shine, it makes the school board shine, and Doug has been very instrumental in helping us shine.
And besides the skill base, though, I do want to touch on soft skills. So soft skills is an area that continually comes up. People say our students are not ready for the workplace, not technically skilled, but soft skilled. And so one thing that we do extremely well here in Manatee County is that all of our programs, all of our career and technical education programs at all of our middle schools and high schools and post-secondary at Manatee Technical College participate in what's called CTSOs, and that's an acronym for Career and Technical Student Organizations. And they're co-curricular. An example of a CTSO might be FFA. It might be TSA, which stands for Technology Student Association. It could be FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America. And our students then are, first of all, the instructors who teach in those programs are the advisors for the Career and Technical Student Organization. And our students then become, they know how to present. They know how to follow directions. They know how to work within time restraints. They know how to work as a group, work collaboratively. They know how to win and how to lose, because it's not always about winning. You can't win every single thing in life. And so our students who participate in career and technical student organizations, you're seeing them graduate, whether it be from, and we start as early as 5th grade. So whether they finish elementary school, middle school, high school, Manatee Technical College, they are ready because they have the soft skills training that is embedded into their career and technical education program. It is so exciting.
Right, and what I like is that at MTC, our average age of a student is like 29 years old, and we have a lot of military vets that are coming back that are wanting to retrain, et cetera, and they are perfect mentors for some of the young students, the 16, 17, 18-year-olds, high schools that come in, or even some of the 21, 22-year-olds that come in and don't have those soft skills. And so these veterans are taking them under their wing and basically saying, look, you got to be on time, you got to be clean, you've got to dress, you got to have clean clothes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's great because we're getting that, here again, that circle of veterans and elderly students teaching our younger ones about soft skills and saying, if you want a job, you need to be presentable and you need to have, pay attention and do what is right. And that's what I think is also great with MTC. Because of that diversity in age, that we're helping some of the students with their soft skills. Because not everybody's a bad egg, So let's give them a chance to learn and retrain, and just like the veterans are. So now we're getting the younger ones to retrain and start thinking a little bit more positive. And that's what I like about the situation at MTC with the older students.
In addition, but can I piggyback on
please,
that for
go ahead. No, please.
one point? So, and besides the students, though, John, that's a good point, but besides the students, I do want to put a plug in for our business community. So the business and industries here in Manatee County have stepped up to the plate, and they serve on advisory councils for all of our programs. And so the Department of Education puts out curriculum frameworks of what's required for us to teach in the technical education program, and the majority of our teachers have come from business and industry, and now they're teaching for us, but we still have to have that link with the local business industry. They have to not only hire our graduates at all level, high school and post-secondary, but they also come and work with our teachers and talk to them about how the workplace is changing. They may come in and speak to the class about what their company is looking for or how students can be better prepared for the workplace. And so we have hundreds of businesses who help us with our school system in the area of career and
Well,
technical.
the lead-in was that we have a Board of Governors meeting coming up this Thursday, here again, which is business and industry. And after that, then we have our dinner for our advisory groups, committees, and there's easily 300 people in that room from business and industry that are there enjoying the camaraderie of the people in the room, plus enjoying good food, and then going back to their respective disciplines and talking about how they can help the school in making sure that we're meeting the needs for business and industry. And I've been doing this for 35 years as being chairman of the advisory committee for drafting, and so it's really, really necessary for business and industry to stay involved in the community.
We have only a few minutes left, so I'd like to have each of you tell me what are some of the challenges that you see in the future, and how confident are you that we are able to meet these challenges? Doug?
Some challenges. Sometimes we have a challenge finding qualified career and technical education teachers. That can be a challenge, and it's such a rewarding area. So I'll put a plug out there for anybody who has a career and technical education experience. We would love to talk to you about possibly teaching for us at Manatee County, because we have great programs. I am so proud of our teachers that we have now. Hundreds of career and technical education teachers, and they work hard each and every day to make a difference in the lives of these students. And it's such a rewarding area to teach in, because you are teaching a skill. It's skill-based. And so students are leaving the program with a skill that's tangible that can help them in the workplace. And so it is a challenge to find career, and our workforce is getting older. And as the baby boomers start to retire, that creates more and more opportunities. But it's also exciting that Manatee County is growing, and we're building a new high school, and we have a new middle school, and we have other things that are happening that will create the need for more additional teachers here. And so I'm excited about the future.
Okay. John?
Well, challenges, again, just what Doug talked about is the teachers. The challenge for the foundation is dollars. We need dollars so we can help these students, with the financial assistance. And that's, one of the problems that we have. But one of the successes I like is that the successes of Skills USA that MTC has done for years. We're 13 years in a row now national champions. So we have great success, and it shows how business and industry has seen that and accepted that, and knowing that they're coming back to us saying, well, look what you're doing nationally and what we're doing here locally, and the success of what MTC has done and what the success the foundation has done as to giving out almost $95,000. So that's what I like.
Well, thank you to our distinguished and knowledgeable guests for joining us today. We hope this discussion has piqued your interest to learn more about sustaining the economic growth which benefits the citizens of Manatee County by creating the highly skilled, job-ready workforce that has the ability to find meaningful employment for the benefit of themselves, their families, and the community. We also invite you to discover how the citizens of Manatee County can invest in the future of their county by visiting the website shown on the bottom of your screen. We'd also like to hear from you if you have ideas of topics for future programs. Please email us or call us at the contact information shown here. And thank you for watching. See you next time for Impact, the skilled workforce of Manatee County.